Wonderful friends. Let me check my audio. Okay, we are all good there. I want to talk today about conflict. I just had a really great conversation with an expert faculty member of the Complete Leader. He's also the CEO of TTI Success Insights in Ireland. And I was inspired. So here I am talking to you. Try to do it when it's fresh so that I can pour out how I was just poured into. So I want to talk about conflict just for a second. When you hear conflict, what do you think? What's happening in your mind? What's happening in your body when you hear the term conflict? I can bet you a crumble cookie that is probably not something positive. When we think conflict, normally we tense up somewhere, whether it's mentally, in our body posture, or even somewhere up in here where we're like, huh, we might hesitate for a little bit because conflict, as it's been discussed in our culture and our society, is a battle that we have to prepare for. So naturally, when we step into conflicting situations, we approach it like a battle, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that. So I want to just interrupt your Thursday and maybe interrupt your thinking to help you reframe what conflict is. Conflict at its very core just means that we're at two sides of an issue. It doesn't mean that we're in battle. And for my leaders out there, when we hear the term conflict management, we immediately think, okay, who do I have to cut down? What do I have to deal with? I've got to bring the hammer down. I've got to lead the situation. I've got to crush some heads. I got to knock some folks off in order to ease or massage that conflict. Or maybe you feel like you have to coddle someone. But differences were meant to be honored, not a warfare tactic. When you have a team, and even as I'm speaking, think about your personal relationships where you have somebody who thinks differently than you, has a different behavioral pattern than you. Let's be real. Do we avoid some of those people sometimes? We might. Maybe we've had bad associations, whatever it is. But the differences are opportunities to learn, the opportunities to grow, the opportunities for networking expansion, for partnership. It does not have to be a battlefield. When we reframe conflict as an opportunity, especially for you to grow, then we create a deeper sense of meaning. Not only that, but we can drop our defenses and really pay attention to what the other party is saying, what they're talking about, or their perspective. So at some point, we have got to reach deep down and say, why am I so bothered if I'm coming across a person who's different than me, who thinks differently than me, who does things differently? Now, I'm not talking about utter disrespect and pure aggression. I'm not talking about that. That's different. We should be able to disagree, or we should be able to sit at the table with different perspectives and hear and listen without throwing insults. That's a different ball game. So we're not talking about that. But we're talking about, man, I'm a person and I'm using myself for real as an example. When it comes to problems and challenges, you got to give me time to think. I'm just a reflective person. You can't come to me and be like, I need an answer. What's going on? I will be a deer in headlights, and that might frustrate someone. But when we open our minds to conflict being an opportunity, you can say, oh, okay, that's right. Davina operates this way. Some people, when it comes to problems and challenges, they just take the bull by the horns and they run with it. Great. But in order to create solutions, in order to build and establish functioning relationships, you need both. It's both and it's not either or. So, my perspective, my background, my mistakes, my blind spots are just as important as yours. How can we walk together in agreement to create something really great. If you're thinking about a team, you can't have, so I just mentioned the two types of people who approach problems and challenges. We have me, that's reflective, and you have other people that are very direct. Think about a team or a family reunion where everybody is direct. Somebody will get run over, somebody's toes will get stepped on. It'll just create this massive problem. It's the sense of excess and deficiency. The point is for us to get to a place of balance. We need both. We need reflective people and we need direct people in all of our situations. Maybe you have some friends who you're at a stalemate and they speak more directly and you don't. We don't have to be offended by that. This is where we learn within conflict to not take things personally. It can be difficult, but if you step out a bit of the bubble of your situation and take a look at it from this person is showing up with all of their backgrounds, how they were raised, their perspective, other battles that they fought before they got to you. So what we're at is just a projection of each other's backgrounds. So we have to step out as leaders, as mature people, and say, okay, again, unless somebody is directly hurling insults at you, we have to step out and figure and not be offended, not take things personally. But where can we find the common ground? When we have these different perspectives, we have to find a entry point of trust. That's what matters. Okay, we got two perspectives, we have two different ideas of doing things. We start the conversation and we start walking hand to hand when we have built trust. When we build trust, I can honor your differences. I don't have to destroy them. I don't have to mock them. I don't have to put you down to raise myself up because I'm somewhere feeling insecure about this headbutting that we're having. But that sense of trust allows us to get a little closer and walk together to attack the problem and not attack each other. In addition to that, to build trust, you need vulnerability. So at some point, you have to be okay with what you're not good at. You have to be okay with your lack. We all have it. Speaking as a recovering perfectionist, we all have something we're not great at. We missed the boat, we dropped the ball. It happens, but you should be an environment that allows you to do that. But you should be able to show up to the situation whole and say, I'm not good at that. This is where you come in. Vulnerability is what helps to build trust, and that trust is what helps to bridge gaps in relationships and problem solving and all of that. And the best way to just step out and think about this is where can we get agreement? Conflict is not a bad thing. It's an opportunity for you to delegate, for you to grow, for you to expand beyond yourself. You don't know it all. You don't have all the answers, and you don't need to have all the answers. This is why you have people around you. I think the universal thought is that the highest standard, highest level that we're supposed to reach is being completely independent. Everybody is on their own islands. But if your island has coconuts and my island has seasoning, I might need some of that. So, really, where we need to reach is a point of interdependence. Think about a grocery store. For me to get the food I want, I don't have a farm. I don't have chickens and goats and I don't have any of that. So I've got to go to the store to get that. But even the store, for it to operate, has to have partnerships with farmers and other companies. We all live in a world where we need each other and we have to work together to move forward, no matter what that is. So the same thing with conflict. You have one set of skills and strengths, great. But to be able to expand and grow and to be successful beyond your wildest thoughts, dreams, whatever, whether it's you as a person, as a professional, or as a company, as a team that you're leading, the only way you can really reach new heights is to work with people. And in order to work with people, you have to honor the differences. So, conflict is not a bad word. Reframe that into opportunity to honor people. And maybe you are the leader, maybe you are the catalyst to show others in your network how to honor each other despite our differences that we come with. So that's all I've got to say. I was super inspired. And before I forgot everything that I talked about, I wanted to give this to you. Think about your friend groups, think about whatever you might be hesitant to approach because there's conflict there. Reframe, step out, think about, man, their differences is could be a value to me. It's a value anyway, but it can expand beyond where I'm at. So I'd love to know who right now in your life or in your profession can you honor their differences and build a sense of trust and be vulnerable with, to maybe take a situation that seems like it's dark, that is draining from you, and instead be a whole new opportunity. Let me know in the comments, and y'all will see me next week.